Okay, so I want to have a look at setting up your drawing sheets in Revit. So the first step is to find your sheets. If you scroll down in your project browser, under Sheets All, you'll see, if you click on the plus there next to it, that you'll have a sheet in your project. I've given mine a different name, but I might just undo that so that you can see it with the default name, which is A101 unnamed. And I've also put some things onto that sheet. That doesn't matter because I'm going to delete that sheet anyway and start again. So you shouldn't really be afraid of deleting sheets in Revit. When you right click on the sheet name, you'll see the delete option. And usually that's okay because it doesn't delete the views. The views that I put onto the sheet, like the plan view here, they're still there. So I can easily go and make a new sheet and then put those views onto the sheet with the better page size. So the easy way to make a sheet, which is where you should be starting to set up your pages, you can right click on the Sheets All category in your project browser and then go to New Sheet. Another way, if you go to the View tab, you'll see there's a Sheet button there as well. Does the same thing. But again, in the project browser, you're going to be working in this Sheets All category anyway, so that's usually the quickest way. Right click on that, where it says Sheets All, then you can choose New Sheet. I'm not going to worry about saving, so I'm going to cancel this, and then Browse after you click the Load button. So in this dialog box here, normally the first thing you'll do is click Load and load in a few different title blocks that you need for your project. So when I click Load, what do you know? It's taken us to the default library. And if you double click on title blocks there, you'll see again those default families, which are okay. So I'm just going to, well, what size? Want to be brave and guess what page size would be good for a building of this size? Yeah, exactly. A3 should be spot on for this one. Fairly small building. So that's good. If we double click on A3, metric, then it's now coming to the list and I can click OK. And there it is with the horrible logo. That's okay. We can change it to a different A3 page later, but at least set up the bulk of it. So, you might not have used the new one. So that's, just click onto the border. Yeah, just there. Yeah, click on the edge of it. That's it. And then see, you've closed your property. So type PP on the keyboard. Yep, there we are. So what's the name on the left? You'll see in properties at the top. There it is. Does it say A2 or A3? Just up here. It's grey. I can see it. Yeah, yours is A3. That's okay. It's A3. Yep, that's fine. Yep, so we've just got different versions somehow. It's me. Okay, I chose A2. So that was my mistake. Okay, so I'll show you how to change it. So if you've loaded the wrong one, to change it, it's the same as the doors and the windows. You select the border, select the object, click Edit Type, Load, takes you back to the library, double click on title blocks again, and then you can just double click on the one you want. A3 is what I should have chosen. So I'm going to click OK, and there we are now. I've probably got the same as everyone else. Edit Type in Properties. Yep. Yep. Then you get the Load button. Okay, so that's a nice option. It's actually a lot easier than, say, AutoCAD. When you need to change a page size, it's usually pretty straightforward. Now, this is where you need to concentrate a little bit more, and maybe just watch what I'm doing for a little while. You won't need to follow too many steps here straight away. So I showed you briefly that you can click and drag from the project browser, then release, and click again to place a view on a page. The problem now is that that view is much bigger than the page. So how do we make it smaller? I don't want to change the scale. I'm happy with the scale, 1 to 100. And just looking at the plan, we can see pretty clearly that the plan itself will fit onto the page. It's just this other stuff going around the outside that's getting in the way.
We can stretch the paper.
but that's going to make it all bigger. So that is an A3 page, so we don't want to do that. So really what we want to do is crop the plan. We want to take things away and leave the part in the middle. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So back in the, under floor plans, back in the view that my floor plans come from, you'll see down on the view control bar, there's a button. Do you all know what the crop symbol looks like, or what a crop symbol? Okay, so cropping comes from, well, photography really. So they used right angles to do their cropping. So do you know what a right angle square looks like? The thing, the L-shaped thing. So two of those together, masons use something similar, will give you a rectangle. So that's the symbol, and you'll see that in a lot of software. It's down on the view control bar. You'll see the one that looks like a cropping symbol, the two right angles, and then you'll see one next to it that looks like the same symbol with a light bulb on top of it, right next to the glasses. So there's a button that looks like a pair of glasses, and the button just to the left of that is the button to show your cropping. Yeah, region, exactly. So when you click on that button, you should see a rectangle. That's the easiest way to start with cropping. Just unhide it by clicking on that button so that you can see this rectangle. Now I'm going to select that rectangle and use the grips in the middle, these circles in the middle. I'm going to bring them right up against the building. So notice how everything that's outside is getting cropped. Yeah, it's just practice, but yeah. 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 So, yeah, look, as long as you've got the videos to refer back to, so you should be right. So, okay, so I've cropped it, but notice how the sections didn't get cropped along with everything else. So you need to do them separately. I'm just going to select one of the section lines, and then notice how we've got the little grips next to the arrowhead, and I can drag them in again right up against, or fairly close to the building. If I don't do this, again, the plan is going to take up too much space on the page. So there we are. So that's maybe as much as I need to crop it. What about the reference planes? Has anyone worked out a way of hiding these things? You could delete them, but we want to keep them for later. So just like AutoCAD, you can hide anything without deleting it. If you click onto one of them, just select the thing you want to hide, right-click, and then you'll see there's an option there, Hide in View. And then you can choose either Elements or Category. So if I choose Elements, it's going to hide just the one I've selected. If I choose Category, it'll hide all the reference planes. So I'm going to choose Category, and it hides all of them in one go. So how much better is that? That's a lot cleaner. And yep, so you right-click, Hide in View. Yep. So I've opened my sheet view up again, and notice how the plan has changed automatically. Oh, it might be your scale. Did you change the scale to something else? So what is it down the bottom there? It'll tell you. Is it 1 to 50? 1 to 100? Okay, it should be there. Just click on the light bulb at the end of your view control bar. So on the very right-hand side, it should have a light bulb. Yep. Yep. Oh, it might have been deleted. I'll come over and have a look in a sec. Yep. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you there is that the plan easily fits onto the page, but what's this thing down here? So the plan's there, but notice how we've got this label down the bottom in space below the title block. Right, and if you're wondering, that's the original label that came in when the scale and also when the view was much bigger. Now, everyone asks me, how do I adjust that? How do I get it in the right place and make it the right size? I'm going to show you but not right now. I'm going to instead show you a trick that's easier. And the trick is, delete the viewport and drag it on again. So here, instead of trying to adjust the tag, I'm going to let the program do it. I'm just going to delete this. I've selected it and I've pressed delete on the keyboard. Now, I'm going to drag it on again. And notice how the tag gets resized automatically. So I don't have to go and do that myself. And that's a good thing. And so a good thing to do then, if you've got that working, is to repeat the process for the next floor plan. So I'll just go through it. You can by changing the scale, but then they're going to be a different scale, which you don't want. So we want to have these at 1 to 100. You can make them 1 to 50 or 1 to 200, but again, for this we should have them at 1 to 100. So again, if I remember the button there to show the crop region, so I've got my rectangle that I can then select and bring right in up against the building. So all those symbols that were outside are gone. Now, in some cases, you'll see the sections. Don't be confused by this. The sections sometimes will look like they're acting on their own. And that's helpful. Here, it's actually adjusted automatically. Now, if it doesn't happen, it's not a problem if you need to just to stretch them. And then, just like the other floor plan, I can select one of the reference planes, right-click, hide in view category to hide them all. So that's getting there. If you don't like these lines that are coming in from the level below, I'll quickly show you the option for that. It's in your view properties. And so you'll see there, unless you've installed the update, you should have an option for, oh no, sorry, it's in 2017. So we'll have the Underlay panel here. And so there, I'm going to set the range to none. There we are. So if that wasn't clear, I'll just undo so you can see what I did that for. So notice how here I got some walls and the furniture and this door all coming in from the ground floor. That's because of this underlay setting. By just choosing the first option there and setting it to none, that's going to clear all of that. Okay, so back onto my sheet. Now I can drag that floor plan across, and it should fit just the same as the other one. There we go. Don't worry about the crop border. So now I want to make another page. What do you think you might do then? Exactly. Same as before, right click, you just repeat the process. So right click on Sheets All, go to New Sheet. I don't need to load the title block again because I've loaded it already. It's there in my list. So I can click OK, and I've got a new A3 page. So I'll start by trying to drag an elevation view. That one's coming way too big. So I'm not even going to leave it there. I'm just going to delete it. Pressing delete on the keyboard. Then open it and fix it up first before I try to place it. So the issue mainly there was the scale, being 1 to 50. I'll change it back to 1 to 100. So section lines. Do you show section lines on your elevations normally? No, definitely not. So you can, but it's not normal. So just like the reference planes, I can hide with the right click, hide in view, elements or category here, either would be fine. There's my reference plane coming through. I don't want that either, so I'll hide that whole category too. Yeah, you just got to hide it. So right click and hide in view. It should work. So then the only other issue is that my levels are going over my building, so I might drag them off as well to the side a bit more. Okay, so now back onto that sheet, and then I can drag east onto my page and place it pretty comfortably without having to worry too much about the view setup.
Did you make another sheet for me?
Yeah.
Is it A2 size?
A3.
Another A3?
Yeah. So just
You put sheet editing.
you can, yeah. So maybe east and west would go well together. So I'll again just get used to that practice for opening the view up to see how it's set up, and then if you hide.
Did you draw on the floor plan or block plan?
Cropping, you mean?
I don't know. You were changing, you were putting it on that. I don't know.
Oh, I'll show you again with the next view. So, okay, so some of the things I was just hiding. So when you select things like the reference planes, you can right-click, hide in view, category.
Where do you want them back? Is there a way?
Click on, there's a little light bulb at the end next to your glasses on the other side. So down on your view control bar, you'll see there's a button, obviously looking like glasses, and then to the right of that is a little light bulb.
Yeah.
When you click on that, it'll show anything that's hidden. So my section, I'd hidden before, now I can see it, and I'm going to select it, and then it really helps you a lot here because it tells you up the top if you've hidden it by element or category. So if I'd hidden by category, I'd have that option, but because I'd hidden by element, it's giving you the option to unhide element. So it's that easy. Just look for the option that you have there to unhide. So that's now no longer hidden. And then you can either click on this cross or click on the light bulb again to go back to the normal mode.
Yeah.
So that's it. You can hide and then unhide anything that way freely. So if I select this again, right click, hide in view elements, and with the light bulb, it's basically called reveal mode, and that reveals anything that's hidden. Click on it again, and you're back to your normal mode. So I'll go to my new page. I can drag west, and then click again to place it. So I've got those two elevation views lined up pretty well. And well, it's an A3 page, and they're 1 to 100, so that's the size they should be. So, so again, when you right-click on sheets all, yeah, you've got to crop, yeah. So I'm going to crop the next one again just to show you. So, okay, so I'm going to make another page. You'll need several pages for this. So you don't always need to crop elevation views, so I skipped it there, but section views you will need to crop most of the time. So with sections, you actually have the crop region turned on by default, but if you need to turn it on for some reason, it's the same button down the bottom. So again, the button just to the left of the glasses to show and unhide, also to hide and unhide that crop region. So you start by bringing that right into the sides of the building. Don't worry about the levels, they'll take care of themselves. So you can bring it in right up against the building. So from here I can go further. So notice how the levels go with it. And even in a section view, you don't need to usually show other sections. So I can hide that. Gives me a bit more room. And now this section, unlike this cross section, unlike the other views, I might want at a different scale. So I made the floor plans. You can see there 1 to 100, and the elevations as well, 1 to 100. But this section view, I want that to take up a whole page on its own. So I'm going to change the scale down here to 1 to 50. So notice how it stores the scale in the view. It's a bit different to AutoCAD in this way, because with AutoCAD, you just set the scale to the viewports. But this is like we're working in model space, but we set the scale here. So if I go to the page, now I can drag section 1, click to place it, and notice how it's picked up the scale that I've set. And it's exactly double in each direction, up and down, left, right, double the size of the elevations. Okay, so I'll just show you one more sheet, because you might have been thinking about those main views, plans, sections, elevations. But you can of course put any view onto a sheet. So I've got my 3D views there, and I'm just going to click and drag to place those. I've got a few different 3D views, and you can easily place those on the sheets the same way. And just to finish up, which one do you think has a scale out of those two? Easy if you know, probably not the easiest question if you don't know, or if you haven't done this.
What was the question?
Okay, so one of those views has a scale, the other one doesn't. Yeah, well, which one's the house? The one on the left, you mean? They're both the house? The outside, yeah, that's right. That's right. So remember, this is axonometric. So that does have a scale over there. You can see it is 1 to 100. It just doesn't come up down here. But you need to know that. It does have a scale. This is a perspective. Perspectives don't have a scale. Right? Because perspectives have things in the foreground much larger than things in the background. So they change size, which means they don't have a consistent scale. Yeah, because it's 1 to 50. Because it's 1 to 50. So the elevations are 1 to 100. So here, this is 1 to 50. Yeah. Right? The elevations are all 1 to 100.
Why this one needs to be a 1 to 100 and the other one?
Oh, that's just an example.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you don't have to do it like that.
More detail.
That's right. The section often would be at a scale like this for interiors especially, so you can get the detail like you're saying. But I'm just doing it as an example so you can see some views at different scales. So that's it. So just try and get at least one of each of those different view types onto a page.
I've got a problem.
Yep, sure. I'll just be a moment then. Just one sec.